Can you just let me finish?
Okay, well, I thought I had, but go ahead.
Okay, y'all, let's take turns and let each other finish.
Welcome to Let Me Finish, the podcast where three minds give their unfiltered and sometimes unpopular opinions on all the craziness going on in our lives and in this world. We're your hosts, Jillian,
Janice.
And Michael.
Settle in and let's take a deep dive. All right, welcome back. This is episode 54 of Let Me Finish. I'm your host, Jillian.
I'm Janice.
And I'm Michael.
All right, let's go ahead and just dive right on in and start with our weeks. Michael, why don't you go first?
Well, it was a pretty uneventful week. I don't have anything to report, but I'm here.
Shit.
I survived. I'm here, and that's all I have to say about that.
Okay, cool. Victory.
Sometimes that's all. That's like the best outcome
I'm
that
telling
could
you,
possibly happen.
Nothing
I
bad
made
happened.
it.
Yeah, nothing bad happened.
I made it.
Nothing great, but nothing bad.
You know
I'm
what?
here.
I'll take it.
And you'll take it,
I'll
honestly.
take it because I'd rather just an average week than
Just like
crappy.
literally nothing happened.
Right.
But nothing bad.
Nothing
happened.
bad happened. That's a win to me. So
There you
yeah.
go. Perfect.
Good. Okay.
What about you, Janice?
A lot of bad things happened.
Oh my gosh!
Just
I was like,
kidding.
oh, no.
I'm just kidding. Nothing bad happened. I mean, it was a normal week, normal work week. Yeah. But I did go to brunch today, so that was
Nice.
brunch. It was straight up breakfast. It was 9:30, so it's funny because it's with my friend Karen, and we haven't seen each other in so long. Like it's been over a year since we've seen each other. She went and got
wow.
pregnant, had a whole baby. I didn't
Wow.
see her pregnancy at all.
Not a half baby, but a whole baby.
Like a whole baby. The whole thing. So I went to breakfast with her. So it was funny because originally I said 11. I was like 11:30 brunch. You know, that's the time I usually go. And to be honest, that's earlier than we usually go. Don't we?
Yeah.
We usually go around noon or 1. So then I was like, okay, let's do breakfast. I was 11 work, and then I went to go look at the reservations. It was like 9:30 was the latest you could get. And so I texted her. I was like, oh, they only have 9:30, and she's like, oh, well, that worked for me. I'm like, okay, me too.
Yeah.
Okay, me too. I can make it work.
Yeah, she's probably already up with that baby.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
She said,
that's
well, I'm a
true.
mom now, so I'm
Yeah.
up at like 7 minimum. I'm like,
Ugh.
makes sense.
on a Sunday, that's a crime.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think when you have kids, like your days start a lot earlier.
Yeah.
And you're just ripping and running from the time you get up until the time you go to bed.
Yeah.
And we talked about that.
I'm sure.
Girl.
That came
And
up.
I'm like, yeah, no.
Makes you feel
I
good
don't
to
have to
not.
do that.
I don't
deal
have
with
to do that.
Yeah.
And then I'm
Yeah.
like, I guess at
Yeah.
some point I might. But she also was making me feel like, yeah, I don't know.
Not missing out.
This ain't it for
Yeah.
the faint of heart.
And
Right.
she said it's been, because she's 4 months, the baby's 4 months now. So she said like it's getting easier now.
That's good.
But she was saying how like it was, I guess, I mean, I'm sure it is difficulty. They don't sleep.
And
They're
her
crying
husband-
all the time.
Her
Yeah.
husband is
He's
stepping
on
up.
reserve. He's in the
Oh.
reserves.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, yes, he's definitely stepping up. He's a great husband. I know he's a great dad. But I also know that like he goes away for the weekends and stuff for like, I don't know how that works, but I know he's in the service. So there's a little bit of that too. So,
what is it? 1 week in a month they have to go do something.
yeah, I think so. I think it's something like that.
Okay.
But I know she said that he was away this weekend and he comes back today. So
There you
I'm
go.
glad you
So I'm
guys
like-
meet up with her. That's
Yeah,
good.
Does she
Got
have
to meet up with her.
family that helps her?
yeah, so she said like they live with their parents, right? Or her parents right now for the help. But her parents are out of town, so
So who watched the baby? Oh, the baby came.
the baby came with her. I got to meet the baby.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
cool.
Oh, I
Girl-
didn't- okay.
Okay, see, that shows you how I did not even register
missed
that.
that.
I'd be like, I thought she just came. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
don't
what
know.
I thought.
I know.
Baby's
She-
at home taking
I-
care of itself. Doing
I'm just like,
laundry.
She's in there just making a bottle for herself.
Because it's
I'm ready,
funny.
Mom.
Whenever people tell me stories, I have a visual running in my mind.
Me too.
The whole time I know.
You
'cause
were
I,
not picturing the baby there?
Nope. Wasn't picturing
Same.
the baby. I thought it was just y'all just hanging.
That's
No,
what makes me
it's-
think I shouldn't have kids because it wasn't even in my mind. It's like maybe that's
I'm thinking, oh, the baby. So the
I
husband's
will
home.
say, when we first were planning it, we were planning it, and then she's like, "Yeah, me and the baby's name," and I was like, "Oh yeah, duh."
Oh, you gotta add this.
oh that's
Yeah,
a personality.
you gotta add that
Take
person
care
in
of
the
that
Like
person.
you're
reservation.
the mom, so
Yeah, that's how that
likely-
works.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But obviously, I wanted to meet her, so I was like, "Please."
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Finally, like she's so cute too. She looks just like her.
Aww.
But like she's so cute.
I've
She's
been-
such a good baby.
I've been in situations where they bring their kid, and I'm like, could you get your kid to like stop being so annoying? Like,
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
it's that thing of like,
No, Julie, come on.
it changes the
different.
dynamic. The dynamic changes. It's like, oh wow, we're no longer just two.
Shooting the shit.
Yeah, now it's like, oh,
We can't sit there and have like 5 mimosas.
right. We got to
She
be
had to
like,
limit herself.
We-
Like,
exactly.
Not me.
You gotta watch your language and all
yeah.
that
Well, it's
stuff.
an infant, so it's fine.
they're so needy. They just need you.
But
It's
that's
like,
what I'm saying. Like, you know, the ones that you have to like pick them up, burp them, constantly feed them and rock them and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
her baby was not like that. She
Okay,
was
cool.
chilling.
I saw a kid yesterday at work who had a Kurt Cobain haircut, and he was like 9 years old, and I was like, that kid looks like he needs a slingshot, and he like
Kurt
with
Cobain.
overalls. Dennis the Menace.
Dennis
Dennis
oh
the
my
Menace.
God. That
Okay.
used to be one of my
That was the-
favorite movies
Oh, yeah.
growing up.
Me too.
The
I loved
movie,
it. Yeah.
the show, yes, and the comics, yes, but
The movie was good.
The movie,
Yeah.
With Walter
Matthau.
Matthau.
Yeah.
yeah. All I remember, my favorite part is the beans.
I love that part when he force fed that man the beans. He was like, no more, no. And his stomach popped up because he had so many beans.
I do
Oh
remember
my
that.
gosh.
I remember that.
Hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dennis the Menace. That was a good movie.
That was funny.
Yeah.
That was Christopher Lloyd. He scared me. That character scared me. Yeah, it's Christopher
yeah,
Lloyd.
with the long hair,
yeah,
it was
a scary
greasy.
The homeless man. Yeah, that's Christopher
he
Lloyd.
was
Isn't
creepy
he
in it.
Fester in Addams Family too, or is that someone else?
Yes, and he's also in Back to the Future.
Fester.
Yeah,
Man, that man is
he's talented.
range.
Yeah,
Because I'm just like,
Back
you
to the
be
Future.
looking.
Fester was the brother, right?
Yes, in
Okay.
Addams Family.
yeah, that was him. Scary.
I used to love Adam's Family.
Me too.
I still
But
watch it
the
every
sec-
Halloween.
The
It's
second
good.
one. The second
Values,
one with Deb.
family
both of
values.
them.
Yes,
With Deb.
Joan Cusack. She was great.
She's trying to kill him.
about Debbie?
Debbie. She was trying to kill that man the whole time.
She was. She was on a mission.
And he just kept living.
And he just loved it. He loved it. He
He was like, "Oh, let's play a game."
oh my gosh, hilarious.
So true. Okay, so funny.
Yeah, Adam's
Yeah.
Family.
Going back into our childhood, I
I
see.
know. Nostalgia.
Yeah. Because I do remember movies like that. It's so funny. It is like a core memory.
This is going to age me, but we're all roughly the same age, so it's okay. But I remember I was living in Southern California,
Roughly.
and McDonald's back in the day had VHS tapes that they would give as a Happy Meal. I don't know if they did that here in Texas, but in California, as a Happy Meal,
No.
yeah, you
That's
could literally
pretty
get the
amazing.
movie Addams Family on VHS as a Happy Meal toy. Swear to God, it was
Oh my
also
gosh,
it was
that's
that one.
Excellent marketing.
It was also the movie
Yeah.
Multiplicity. Do you guys remember that with Michael
With,
Keaton, where he's twins, or he's like 7 of them? Michael Keaton.
I've heard of the movie.
I've never seen it, but I've seen the VHS cover.
I remember they were like, "When what film would you like today?" It's like Adam's Family, please. It's like
Wow.
that was a thing. You can get a
That
VHS.
is a very
That's
it was
awesome.
It was limited
meal.
time. Yeah, it is.
Jeez.
They realized, you know what? I think we're losing money here. And
What
so
movie
they-
do you
big.
Adam's Family, please?
Yeah,
For free?
Can I get Geely, please, starring Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck?
That'd be the one that'd
That'd
be
be
for
the
free,
one.
though.
That would be the one for free. Yeah, for sure.
We need to get rid of these VHSs.
That,
Does anyone
man,
want?
poor Geely.
You can pay anybody to see
No,
that
you
movie.
really couldn't.
And the funny that you bring up VHS because the other day I was talking to my friend because she was singing a movie. It was Grease 2, and I happened to know because I loved Grease 2.
Yeah, it's so good.
But whatever. And so she's like, I can't believe you know that song. And I'm like, I do. But we were talking about VHSs and how old, like older movies. And I was like, I remember when Movie Trading Company
Oh my
was straight
God.
up like, oh, we don't take VHS anymore.
I was like,
Oh, we don't buy those back.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I remember when me and Jillian and Craig, it was our cousin with our mom, we went to go and rent a movie on Friday night,
Blockbuster.
doing our
Blockbuster,
thing, you
yeah.
know. Mom taking us out. We were like, cool. Everything was only offered on DVD.
DVD.
Yeah,
And we only had VHS left. Like literally, it was like all the good movies were only DVD. And my mom had to go literally next door to the Radio Shack and buy it. I was like, it's time, Mom.
She
can't
did
even
not
get
want to
the
let
movie.
go.
right. I
We
remember.
They're like, oh yeah, because she's like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, we don't offer that on VHS anymore. It has to be DVD. And she's like, what? And we almost walked away. And she's like, no, I want this movie. And she did.
Oh,
she-
is that why we? I'm
can't
surprised I
remember-
didn't
I
throw a
can't
temper tantrum.
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember what movie it was, but she literally, that shows you how freaking old we are. That she went to Radio Shack, got a DVD player of both companies, no longer in
I know.
business.
I know.
And bought a DVD player so she can rent that freaking movie so we could have our weekend.
All Radio
that's
Shacks were
sweet.
closed down?
Oh, they're all gone.
They're all gone.
I
Yeah.
saw one not too long. I went into one a couple years ago. It was like I was surprised it had a Radio Shack.
He's been dead for
It's probably
40
like
years.
5 years though.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah, they filed a bankruptcy and been gone.
I mean,
Yeah.
what do you buy at Radio Shack anyway? So.
Yeah, and if I'm mistaken,
In
they
fact,
don't even sell
Circuit
radios.
City, yeah, Circuit City is gone.
If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
their name is irrelevant. At
In
this
fact,
point.
towards the end, I think they tried to go by the Shack
Oh,
and try to drop the radio part, but
Yeah, it didn't work.
It didn't work. Circuit City's gone.
Yeah,
Best
Circuit
Buy
City.
is
Oh, Circuit City.
struggling.
And those Circuit Cities,
Yeah.
those buildings are so sad looking.
yeah, they are. They look like
I'm like,
abandoned
"Aw."
warehouses. Yeah. I had a
That was
friend that
Circuit
worked at
City.
in high school. I had a friend that worked at Circuit City, and he'd wear his Circuit City shirt,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Oh, you going to work today after school?" Circuit
Hey, at
City.
least you had a job.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's
Yeah,
true.
that's
But
the
yeah.
important part.
I remember being in Circuit City like all day one day when mom was getting a new sound system.
Oh, yeah. You could
All
get
day.
lost in that store.
Very much.
We were
so.
in there all day,
Yeah.
like in the morning till late afternoon.
Oh wow. Literally all day.
I
just
was
trying to
like-
make a decision. Yeah.
Like it was ridiculous. I was like, she had my uncle in there, and they were just, oh my god,
You're like, Mom,
debating.
can
it
you
was
just
like
pick?
torture.
Just pick one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was torture. But she had a really nice system.
Yeah.
I
It was
believe,
a
I believe
very,
it.
very nice one.
Yeah.
But anyways, very long drawn out my week. Your turn, Jill.
Okay, so chill work week. I actually loved it. It was very chill. I'm just like, I was done usually by noon with my work, so I'm just like, I was just
Nice.
taking calls. So
Oh,
if
by
people,
noon? Look at
Yeah.
you.
Shoot.
so yeah,
I'd be
as
like,
far
I'm
as
gonna
like
go.
actually outbound calls that I have to do, but of course, people call me back, and emails come in, so I still have to do all that stuff. But like, as far as like the outbound calls I have to do, I was usually done by noon this week. But this time is my slow week, mid month, so that's expected. Finished the book I talked about, Neon Gods, and I think I have like 3 books that I have on deck that are next to be read. Then I'll try your vampire books.
Give me my book back. Bring that shit back.
So
Bring it back.
I have 3. I have Touch of Malice, which is part of
Jill.
the Touch of Darkness series. That's next on deck.
What kind of books are
And
those?
That one is a Persephone and Hades retelling, like in the modern times.
Oh.
So is Neon Gods, but it's
Oh my
two
god, I
different-
need to read those. You know how obsessed I am with
Greek
gods?
mythology.
Yeah.
I'm
Really?
obsessed.
I didn't know that about
Hades
you.
and
I have-
Stephanie, oh my god.
I didn't know that about you.
Okay.
Interesting.
Obsessed.
So I
Okay.
have
Like could go in a rabbit hole for hours reading and reading and reading and reading
Greek
about the gods and
mythology.
God. I love it.
That's so cool.
So you would love that. So I have.
I need
I
that
have-
ASAP.
I have Touch of Darkness. I have the book at home, so I'll lend it to you. That and
He's just misunderstood.
so pretty much, yeah, that's exactly what it is. He's misunderstood, and she falls in love with him. Yada yada yada. So I did that, and then I have somebody came through on my For You page called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. That I'm like, okay, this may be.
Jillian.
It's like a
Murder somebody.
it's a murder mystery. So she's playing detective. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So that's been like, I don't know why that's been flooding my For You page. I'm like, oops, meant to be read. And then I think the other one, this has been one of my to be reads, is called The Proposal. And it's been on, I've been thinking about it for a really long time. I just never actually hit the borrow button for my library books. But those are my 3 on decks. Like, I'll pick one of those eventually and dive into that and read one of those. So
And then, so you're going to read my books like next year sometime?
probably there's a lot.
Bring me my
get
shit
to
back.
it.
Honestly,
I'm playing with you. Bring it back till you're ready.
I honestly, including Janice's books, I probably have like 15 books like to be read.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot of books.
I need a book.
Yeah,
I need
Yeah.
one book I want to read.
yeah. So I have like 15, but my goal this year was to read 1 book a week. So my goal is to get to
One book a
52.
week?
That's amazing, Jillian.
I'm trying to do
Jill, a week?
Shoot.
4 books a month.
It's
It's
doable.
doable.
But however, for me,
I feel like that's all you're going to be doing in your free time.
Right,
then
is
for,
reading.
if it's just 1 week.
No. It doesn't take
It
me
will
that
be
long.
different. Like when I'm reading a book, it'll take me a week to read it because I have work and I have other things I have to do and
Responsibilities, yeah.
responsibilities in life. So unless I'm just like literally dialed into that book constantly, it's going to take me longer than a week.
yeah,
No.
Because there's going to be a day I probably don't even read it.
I'm with you. Yeah.
No,
Same thing.
like,
Like you don't
Yeah.
get busy?
No, I do get busy, and what it is that I try and set aside like 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the afternoon, so an hour a day.
I love that. See, I don't do that, but I love that you set out time to do that.
Yeah, no. And then 30 minutes, so you read an hour a day and you can get through a whole book? Mm-hmm. Are they small books?
It depends. Some of them it does take me longer. Like I've only read like
if you read like a 600-page book, it's going to take you longer.
This month, April, I read April, so I read The Duchess Effect, and I've read Neon Gods. I've only done 2.
That's 2 more books than a lot of people.
Yeah, it really is.
So,
yeah.
1 month is enough for me.
Yeah. I can usually
I don't have time
especially on the weekends.
I'm with you.
To make the commitment, it's one thing to have gotten through a book in a week. For me to say I'm gonna read a book every week, that's like
That pressure.
that's a lot of pressure.
Not saying that I've hit that a goal, like because I think I don't necessarily hit it. That's my goal, and it doesn't mean I'm gonna actually hit it every week. But
Yeah, because you might be off.
And
Like
if you have
Monday,
15 books you want to read, I guess, because half the time I don't even have books like
recommendations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
read that badly.
yeah,
But you have a sister who loves to read, and she can recommend all the stuff. And she
I'm
knows
just
what you
trying to because I feel like I said lately when I have a reading slump, it's that because I'm not pushing myself through that.
Funny thing is,
I
I
see.
remember when Julian didn't read at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'll have
And I'd be like, Julian, reading's so fun.
yeah, and she would be like,
I was so into reading.
but you know what? Wait, for a long time, I wasn't reading because nothing grabbed my attention, and the book kind of restarted it because I.
50 Shades of Grey.
No, it was actually The Hunger Games,
Okay.
and
For me, it was Twilight. It was like after Twilight,
Yeah.
it was like the
And that's what
floodgates
it was.
fucking opened.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
I loved, but Twilight. I love Twilight.
Yeah.
I cannot. I love that.
yeah. So The Hunger Games was that
For
kickstart,
you,
and then
yeah.
I got into 50 Shades of Grey, and then some other like
What is it that we read the other day?
book series, and I would like devour those.
Were you a Harry Potter kid or no?
No,
No.
I've always wanted to read Harry Potter, but I really, truly don't think I'll like it.
Really?
I never read the books. I think last year I finally watched the movies, and I still haven't made it through all 7.
Girl, I can't get
What
past
movies?
the Harry,
Harry Potter
movies.
movies?
I can't get past
They're
3.
cute.
Yeah, no,
but
I
It's
have
a
not watched.
lot.
I have
It's
not
a
watched any
lot.
of them.
I think
It's a commitment.
I've not read
If
the
I-
books, nor have I watched the movies. But I think I'd like them.
If I remember
okay. They're
correctly,
good.
I've made it through 4. I just haven't finished the last 3.
Yeah, it's just that thing of
That's a
like
lot.
commit. You have to commit to like. It's a lot. It's like Lord of the Rings. It's like, okay, here we go.
Oh my
like,
gosh,
let
but
me.
I love Lord of the
no,
Rings.
I definitely
I've
love
never
it.
watched them.
Oh my gosh, Janice.
I know
I'm not
that's
kidding.
another one. I'm like, I feel like I would love it.
I think honestly, it's so human. It doesn't matter. You don't have to. People are like, oh, I don't like fantasy. Girl, it's not about fantasy. It's about human emotion,
My mom
relationships.
Told
Yeah.
me about Lord of
Yeah.
the Rings because she went to the wrong movie. She bought the tickets for the wrong.
That would be my
movie.
mom, too.
She was in there. And she's
Golly.
like, "What is going on?" And like, she was like, "Huh?" And she did, and she ended up really liking it. She goes, "I was." That's not the movie I was expecting, but it was really good. It was really interesting. And I said, "What?
Oh my
What is
God.
this movie?"
Mom
she
did
goes,
that?
It's called Lord of the Rings. You should watch it, Jillian. You would love it." And she was right. I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
She
it.
suggested to me.
Yeah.
How funny.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. I get to see Mom's.
She was just like,
Of course, Mommy would buy the wrong ticket, go into the theater.
I thought I was
sit
watching
there and
Memoirs of a
watch it.
Geisha.
Yeah.
Like she totally see
In fact,
Mom
I think
doing
she
that.
thought she's like, what is going on?
Literally one of the smartest people I know.
Yeah.
But yes, she just little things like that. I'm like, what is wrong?
Yeah.
She just sat there, just I don't know what's going on.
And I love that she sat through it because that shit is 3 hours.
Yeah,
So
it
she
is.
was like
I can't
determined.
believe it. I would have been like, oh hell no, that's not a movie.
This is not.
What? She was just like, oh, okay. And she just kind of just rolled with it. So I'm like, okay, that's pretty
that's good.
But yeah, so we did. So there was that. So I'm trying to get through those books, and then I have to say that something that I've been really thinking about is because Ashanti finally announced that she was pregnant.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We all knew she
I'm
was.
so confused because they were talking about she finally announced it, but wasn't it obvious?
It was obvious, but she never made the official announcement. And so she announced that she's pregnant, and actually her and Nelly are
Engaged.
And I just found it interesting because they did it for so long and never got engaged, never had a child. And then for them to circle the block and reconnect and rekindle the romance, and within a year, they're engaged and pregnant. So I just thought that was interesting to see
never
them make it back to each other.
I did not know they were together.
So-
I had no idea.
Oh my God, they were
Like Ember?
I actually forgot about Ashanti as a person entirely.
God,
Until you said Ashanti, I was like, oh.
I don't know. She's
I can't name one song
She's-
other than Foolish. That's the only song I know of her.
Happy, Baby. She has so many good ones.
Happy Baby.
No, it was she had a lot of one-name songs. One song was named Happy. I'm so happy, baby.
Yeah. Her Murder Inc.
I've been searching
In fact, you can call
for you, babe.
Let's be honest.
And
half
then
of
Baby.
J-Lo's catalog, she be singing on that
Oh.
shit. So you know.
And then what is
Ashanti.
it? Baby, 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 baby.
Yeah, she was like, oh my God,
Foolish,
Michael.
and then of course, Foolish.
We need to get you here, Michael.
They had an Unfoolish song.
Unfoolish?
Yeah, it had Unfoolish, really good.
It was like a remix with on
Gosh.
Foolish. It was like
Ashanti had some hits.
a mashup
son.
with Biggie's song.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I have been out
it was
of
kind
the
of
loop
like a
with Ashanti.
response. Yeah.
Hold on.
You know who's a bitch? Salt from Salt and Pepper.
She's a
Why?
bitch.
Yeah, she came to the hotel I used to work at. I was about to say the name, but I didn't want to say that. It's the Westin. When I used to work at the Westin.
I was gonna say it, and I decided not to, but then I did
And
it
she
anyway.
stayed at the hotel. This is the same hotel R. Kelly stayed at.
Yeah.
And she came
Rain
into
on
the
me.
property, and her room wasn't ready yet. I dealt with her, and I was like, "I'm so sorry. We're still working on your room," because she had an executive suite, and the person that stayed there before had a late checkout, so we had to accommodate that because they spend a lot of money on those rooms, those
Right, of
executive
course.
suites.
Of course.
So she shows up at like 10 a.m. She's like, "I'm here to check in," and it's like, "I'm so sorry, we're actually still working on it." And she was like, "What do you mean?" And it's like, "Well, it's not ready yet, but we'll have you ready as soon as possible." And she was like, "This is ridiculous." And I was like, "I'm sorry, how? Who are you again? Like, you're Salt?" She was
sorry.
very salty.
You salty salt.
Okay.
So after
She finally got in about an hour later, but she was just not having it. She was very rude to me, and I was like, "I'm going to tell all my friends that you're rude because you are." Anyway.
like she cares.
No, but I mean, she's not
getting
she's not relevant.
she's all about
getting
residual
residuals,
checks.
but she's
That's
not
it.
like currently
She fine,
relevant.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Can you even afford this salt?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That's probably what she's putting her last.
Yeah.
That's how she want her room. Anyways.
So congratulations to Ashanti and Nelly. So they rekindled their romance, but that's it for the week.
All right.
Okay. All right. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna dive into our main topic. All right, welcome back. So we're going to go ahead and dive into our main topic. This is something that we all have discussed in bits and pieces throughout, even from the very beginning, when I did my intro, as far as our first couple episodes, I discussed how that I've dealt with anxiety in the past, and something that Janice has discussed, Michael has discussed, and we're gonna dive deeper into mental health and how we deal with that, and how I feel like our generation, Gen X, millennials, down all the way to Gen Alpha, we're figuring it out sooner. And not suffering in silence and discussing it, which is another reason why I absolutely love TikTok, is that people are saying, hey, I'm feeling like this, and other people validating that feeling and saying, hey, you're not alone. I feel the same way. This is how I dealt with it and coped with it, and having that community. So we decided that, hey, this is something that we definitely wanted to do with our podcast community as well. Discuss how it affects our lives, how we deal with it, and maybe bounce some ideas and maybe be able to better deal with it in the future as well. So we're gonna talk about mental health and how that affects us. Like I said, I have discussed on the podcast before that since I was a child, I've had issues with anxiety, where I've had panic attacks and having this deep dread, as far as like when I was a kid, I felt like I literally felt like I was gonna die.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
In what situations? Just
I can't. It was just irrational feeling.
Fear.
Yeah.
And like I felt like my heart was racing, and I was just like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? And having to literally curl up in a ball and like self-soothe myself and be like, I'm gonna be okay, I'm gonna be okay, I'm going to be okay, and having to repeat that mantra to myself to kind of push those thoughts out of my brain.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older, I still do have a little bit of anxiety, like I said, where I feel like I felt like I feel like sometimes I'm under a lot of pressure, and I'm like, I feel like, oh my gosh, how am I going to deal with this? How am I going to come through? Even though I end up figuring it out
Of
and
course.
come through on the other end, I'm just like, why was I so freaking scared? It was, I have this, I have the tools to be able to deal with these situations, but it's that awful feeling like maybe I don't. Maybe I
dread.
don't. Yes. That impending dread that I don't have the situation under control. And I'm trying to I feel like I'm still struggling, but I feel like I'm starting to put my mental health first. And if that means meditation, I'm trying to get more into meditation and soothe myself as far as getting rid of those intrusive thoughts in my head. And I've made it a mission to take my mental health more seriously. And,
That's great.
And dealing with that. And
Glad to hear that.
whether that's, and I'm actually contemplating starting to journal, but I have a hard
That's
time
great.
writing because I'm like, I need the prompts.
Seems
Oh.
very whiny to me.
Oh, really?
journaling. For me.
Okay.
For me, I've tried it. I wanted to try it just because they said it's
The
good for
journaling?
your anxiety.
Interesting.
But I'm like, oh my gosh, like I already know my thoughts. I don't know. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I understand. I see
So
that.
writing down your thoughts, or maybe it could just
I'm
be.
like, I already know my thoughts. So writing it down seems very
Counterproductive.
counterproductive or repetitive.
Yeah.
To the point where, and especially if it's the same thing, like if I'm having the same feeling every day,
Recycling those thoughts.
it's just, yeah. And it's almost like I like put more emphasis on it.
Sure.
When I talk about it in a journal.
It becomes more real.
I don't, it's just not, I think prompting journaling would be better for me.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And it just needs to not be the same thing over and over. Because I did buy a journal from like, it was like a flea market thing, like, you know, where they kind of were selling their different stuff. And one of the girls was like a motivational speaker and she had a journaling book. But it's the same prompts and I didn't realize, I bought it, but I didn't realize it's the same prompt every day. So I'm just like,
Yeah, I wouldn't. That wouldn't interest me
same
either.
fucking day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
nothing's changed.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the kind of journaling. That's why I have not got into it, because I don't want to do that repetitive feeling again. And also, I think maybe
once a
I
week.
do suffer a little bit from ADHD, where like I have a vision of who I want to be. And so where I'm at, I'm like, I want to get there, but I feel like I will have a consistency for a day or two or a week, but I can't keep it consistent to be able to actually see the actual results that I want.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to have to figure out some other way to get past that, to be able to motivate to
So
get where I want to be.
one other
Sure.
thing to kind of point out. So I think all of us, I think all of us are single, right? None of us have kids.
Right.
Right.
So I think one thing that somebody had said something a while ago, and he was younger than me. He was like 25, 26. And he had made like 6 figures at my company, like 2 years in a row. So, already like killing the game.
Yeah.
And so they asked him to speak, and they said, "Hey, can you just tell people kind of what got you here, what pushed you to even get to this point?" And he told me, he's like, "Well, I figured out my why." And I think that's been my issue. What is my why? Because I
Purpose.
don't have kids
Sure.
to be like, that's why I get up every day. I'm not like broke. I have
Right.
I have a job. I have a good
Right.
job. So it's not like trying to pay my bills. Like,
Right.
I mean, that's always a good why, but that's not the why of what you get
Motivator.
up every day.
I don't want that to be my why, though.
Exactly.
Right. And I don't think that's a good why. It's
No, it's
not.
not.
It's a necessity.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. I have to live. So yeah, of course, I'm going to get up and try and pay my bills. Is your why like is it your family? Like, I don't, and I was like, I think that's my problem. I don't have my why. I
makes
literally just try to get through the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
I get that.
And actually, I 100% agree with you.
I try
Because
to get through the year even.
Yeah, sometimes I
Yeah.
feel like I'm just existing.
yeah.
Right.
And I 100%, and I think that's a part of the problem. I don't want to just exist. Something simple like I sat down. I'm like, people talk about, oh, these are my hobbies. I'm like,
Right.
I don't have actual hobbies. Like I'm obsessed with some people are runners, some people are
Sure.
into crafts, or some people, I've said, oh, I want to do volunteer
Running.
work, or I'm just like, but I don't know any causes where I'm like, I absolutely
passionate
have
about.
to
Yeah.
do this volunteer
Thank you.
work.
I don't love anything that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, is that a bad thing? I mean,
No.
well, that's a part of what makes me go, that's probably why I'm not super motivated to get up and go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
there's nothing. I'm getting up because that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
I'm cleaning my house because I don't want to live in clutter.
Right.
You know, I'm going to work because I need to pay my bills. I mean, what else? I mean, I'm getting my nails done because I like to look cute.
You bathe because it's what
I
you're supposed
don't want
to do.
to smell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, it's not like I'm living my life to get this done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I'm like, but then they're like, what are you passionate about? I'm like, podcasting. Like, I really do enjoy podcasting, which is why I need to put more effort into the podcast, and like maybe that will help me get to my why.
Sure. Yeah. I see that.
Yeah.
It very well could.
Yeah.
I hope it does.
I think, and then like as I go, maybe I'll find more of my why.
Yeah.
It's a process. It doesn't stop. You know, it goes on. And the more you advance your emotional intelligence, the more we learn about ourselves, the better we can treat others and treat ourselves, honestly.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead. I was just going to say, I have dealt with anxiety since I was also a child. I still deal with it. It's diagnosed. I take medication for it. I also deal with bipolar disorder, which I was diagnosed with several years ago. And that has bled into my anxiety. It fuels my anxiety. And
do you think knowing now kind of what you're actually dealing with makes
so much
anxiety
relief.
worse?
No, honestly, Janice, it's knowing that makes me feel better, because I was always like, what is wrong with me? There's something clearly off.
Nothing.
Something wrong. But when I was diagnosed by my psychiatrist, I was like, oh my God, you would think that I'd be devastated and like, oh my God, I have to deal with bipolar disorder. Great.
But it makes sense.
It's
because
like,
you have those moments where you're high and you're like, see, why can't I just let it feel like this all the time?
Yeah,
absolutely. And then
you never know why you drop.
Giant lows. And
can you go into, when you say bipolar disorder, maybe everybody doesn't understand what that means.
Yeah.
I understand it as it is a chemical imbalance in your brain.
yes.
Is that correct?
So I can't speak for everybody, but for me, what it is, I'm bipolar 2. There's 2 bipolars.
Okay.
The one bipolar 1 is one where you're, it's the one that's depicted in movies the most, where the person is like, I don't want to do this. And they like shatter glass on the wall, like having these giant outbursts. That's not me. I don't have outbursts.
And I have friends, yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
There are people that are that way, and that's not me. I'm bipolar 2, where it's more, my understanding of bipolar 2, the research I've done, is that it's more, you go through manic episodes, like through long periods, where you're just living in absolute shame, guilt, depression, all these negative feelings just for long stretches of time.
Okay.
So you know how someone's fasting, for Lent or whatever? Think of that as a manic episode, or like 30 days of just pure mania. And it's horrible.
Both of us.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot to deal with, but at the same time, knowing what it is helps me pinpoint, okay, I'm having a moment. And sometimes I have to excuse myself. I genuinely have to be like, I have to excuse myself, and I have to remove myself from a situation because I don't want people to see. It's not like I'm ashamed of it, but I don't have these outbursts. It's just like I shut down. If I'm like, I'll be having a great time socially, and then something will click, and it's not something someone said. It's not something someone did.
Like I've had that happen.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's this thing of like, oh, I'm done here.
Yeah,
Like,
your emotional bandwidth of dealing with something
I'm no longer interested
yes,
in being here.
Your
I need
tank's
to be
empty.
out. My tank is empty. My social battery is depleted.
I've realized social battery is real. Like,
yeah.
and being a person that I feel like a lot of people depend on me for their battery.
Yeah.
I had no idea how depleted I was.
Yeah.
If I may ask, since you are such a warm, and I mean this, you're such a light, a shining bright light. You really are. Do you feel like there's added pressure to always be funny because you're so naturally funny? And people, like, if you're having an off day or you're maybe like tired or a little sleepy or whatever, someone's like, "What's wrong?" And you're like, "Nothing's wrong. I'm just a little tired today. Can I be tired?"
Yeah.
You feel that pressure
constantly. No, it's a constant thing, and it's for me. That's why, like, I've gotten to a point where, and it's not a good solution, which is why I'm trying to find a different one. So I've gotten to the point where I was like, I'd rather just not see anybody or do anything.
Right.
So I don't have to
be on.
If I know I'm not on and I know I'm not in that headspace, it's like I'd rather not do anything.
Yeah.
With anyone. with the exception of like Jillian.
Would you say that's anxiety for you? Is that your version of anxiety?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how it's been for me. And that's why I'm saying I think we all have very different experiences of anxiety, because there's so much different types of anxiety.
Right.
And for me, growing up, me and Jillian, we've always been very different. I've been out the going one. Jillian's been a more quiet one, more reserved one. Introspective, right. So she's always kind of like she said, dealt with anxiety.
Right.
I literally, up until my mid-20s, dealt with no type of anxiety whatsoever.
Great. That's amazing.
And it's hard to adjust now.
Yeah.
Because I was like going through life, gung ho, everything's great. Oh, no big deal. I'm up, right? And then you get to a certain age, and then I realized I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
There was a time where my mom used to always be mad because she's like, why can't you just stay home? Why can't you just sit down? Like,
right.
And now it's like, you have no idea. I'm always sitting down. Always at home.
Yeah.
And
I felt like my mom had to rein her in. Be like, Janice, take a breath. You don't have to.
You don't have to say yes to everything.
Every event, every outing, sometimes she's like, Janice, just chill. Relax.
And now I get anxiety for telling people no.
Oh, okay.
For not
disappointing them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get anxiety with how they're feeling.
Interesting.
With me not being available.
You feel like you have to, a person you have to be. And if you're not that person.
It feels like I'm like their battery. And so when I'm not giving it, if I'm not giving it out, it's like guilt. I feel guilty.
Yeah. How interesting.
But it's funny thing, even though in her early 20s, like she would have friends, and I feel like sometimes she didn't want to go out, and they'd be like, Janice, come on, come. And she would always discuss that. And they'd be like, to the point where like she would say no to doing something, and they would harass her.
That's awful.
Until she said yes.
It would be horrible. That, or they would be like, well, we're not going to go if you're not going to go.
Yeah.
That's not right. That's not fair.
So then it makes you feel like, damn, if I don't go, everybody's fun's ruined.
Right. Yeah. That's not fair. That's not.
And I've seen that. And I'm not saying her friends had any bad intention. I just really feel like they feel like when Janice is out with us, I'm going to be honest, because whenever we have family events, Janice is her laughter, her sunny disposition. I have to say, she is a lot of fun to be around.
Absolutely.
But then again, and I think we just have different relationships now. Janice and I could be in the house and say absolutely nothing to each other, be totally chill.
Of course.
I'm still having fun with her.
Of course.
And so, and I think that's because
I don't feel like I have to be on for Jillian.
Of course.
No,
your family.
We don't ever. And it's because there's very few people in my life that I feel like I have taken steps with 100% in step with my entire life, and that's the only person really is my sister, who we have an understanding where it doesn't have to be, nothing has to be said.
Of course,
it's just a joint feeling that we are on the same wavelength, and we're two totally different people. Like there's one person like I feel like 100% gets me in every way possible, and that is my sister, because we have this little. I truly like we feel, because we have been through so much together, and we have that joint experience that I have not been able to share with everyone. So it's been me and her since I was 4 years old.
That's amazing.
Ride or die. It's been me and her, and a lot of the issues that we do have, it is a joint. I'd be like, girl, am I crazy?
I feel like
and she's
the only other person that will understand.
I feel the exact same way. We may deal with it different, but I'm just like, am I tripping when I think this? And she's like, no, girl, I feel the same way. I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus.
But I think Jillian, speaking like our shared experiences, which has contributed like parts of my anxiety, is the fact that yes, I feel like there are things I like have never wanted to complain about or harp on or act like it affected me. Like that's another thing. I do that where I act like things don't affect me.
I do.
Yeah.
And they affect me a lot more. Because I'm an empath.
Yes, you are.
Like I feel everybody's everything. Like
absolutely.
That's why I think I have anxiety with people's reaction to me not wanting to do something, because I don't want to disappoint them and make them feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Because then I'll feel it. I can feel it. I can always tell how somebody's feeling about me or about life.
Yeah. Energy.
So Jillian's probably one of the only people that like I can not act like I'm not bothered.
Absolutely. That's great. That's amazing, guys.
She's seen me at my worst.
Yeah.
We've seen each other at our worst.
That's what family is.
As angry as I've gotten, and I can get angry, and like
As sad
she's
as
seen
you've been.
and sad as I've been, and I probably haven't even shown my sadness
Yeah,
the way
I believe
probably
that.
to anybody. Like
I
I don't
believe
know,
that.
and I think they call it high functioning depression. I think when I go through my modes, that's what I am, because I'll still
Okay.
put on that face. I'll still put on the show. I still know what you should be doing,
Right.
to look like you're not in a bad place,
But
Yeah.
you still.
and I might be.
Yeah.
Do you guys-
We've both experienced high function depression where we may go out every single day
Uh-huh.
and do what we need to do.
Yeah.
But once that door closes, it was just like,
I just
The
don't want to do
low-
anything.
Oh, yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
just
I
want
know
to
that
just lay
feeling.
down.
yeah.
And that's why I feel like I watch shows
Yeah.
that I've watched a
It's
million
that
times.
that comfort. And that's, I think that's
Right.
another reason why I love watching
There's no
television.
surprise.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
You're
don't
right.
have to have a surprise, but that's why I love watching television.
comfort.
But yeah, I've been in those depressive episodes where I'm just like, I don't even think I brushed my teeth today.
Right. Right.
I haven't taken a shower.
Right. Right.
I'm like, I haven't even eaten today.
Exactly.
And I'm just
Yeah.
like, I feel nothing. And I'm trying to make sure I don't get back to that place. Like I said, I'm trying to make sure that, like I said, I feel like sometimes I don't have my passion, and I don't feel like Jeannie said, I don't have my why, and I'm grasping for that. I'm trying to
That's the
discover
thing.
that.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking, and that's probably why I'm like, I probably need to go back to therapy and figure some of this stuff out too. Is I don't like, there's nothing that I'm that passionate, like nothing,
And that's okay.
like passionate, probably nothing.
It's okay. Honestly,
I'm like,
you're very
I'm mid about everything,
okay. That,
like everything.
you don't have
So,
to be.
you know what I
real
mean? But I
passionate,
feel like
but
when people are passionate and they have a passion, it's helpful.
it is. It does help to have that.
You know,
yeah.
like I feel like with you, with your acting,
Yes.
isn't
And-
it?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I'm
that
sure
and
that
writing,
like
yeah.
acting, writing,
Yeah.
these are things you're passionate about.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
music, when you were
Yes.
learning how to, I
Yes,
was like,
absolutely.
gosh, I wish I
Yeah.
had a desire.
Yeah, it gives you
To
that
find a
purpose,
passion.
that feeling. Yeah.
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 Definitely. Absolutely. When it comes to Michael, I'm just like, when you're doing your Oscar predictions, I'm just like, clearly this is a craft that he has fallen in love with,
Yeah.
that he has honed, that he has worked at,
Yeah.
that he sees the skill that I'm like, when I look at movies, I'm just like, honestly, I don't care. Like I said, I've said this before.
It's like a good love story.
I do
Yeah.
love my Fast and Furious movies. I don't care
entertaining. They're entertaining.
how unrealistic these movies
the point.
are.
That's why
I
it's
was
so
just
fun.
like, I just want them to be like
Distraction.
It's about family. Yes, Dom. Yes, I'm with you 100%. I don't care if you're gonna have and take this car into space. I
Yeah.
don't care. It's just it's fun.
oh, you're with Dom,
Yeah.
girl. Dom can go.
I was just like,
Wow.
and I just love him and Letty together. I'm just like, yes, 100%. As long as y'all two together, I'm
Everything's
there,
great,
ride
yeah.
or die.
Ride or die.
And so it's one of those things, like, and I see that passion inside of you, and I was just like, man, I wish I had something that I was that good at, that passionate about, that honed into. And
thank
I'm
you.
just like, I'm still looking for that. And I feel like there's a lot of things that I would be good at. Like I said, I'm due to funds, I wish I could travel more. Like I
Sure,
wish I could
you're
take
passionate
that
about that.
leap
Right.
to
But to
solo
me-
travel. Like I was just like,
Even
I don't
traveling,
know.
I'm like, as much as I enjoy it, passionate about it.
No, I would.
Yeah,
I would.
I understand.
I see myself.
I'm not
doing
big
those
on
things.
nature. So
Oh, no.
I'm like,
That's a no go for me. I
Oh,
don't
you
do
don't
nature.
I love nature. Is
I
my
feel like
everything.
that's a big part of traveling.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have to be nature. I just hold on.
You want to see the world,
Yes,
really,
I,
right?
I definitely want to see the world. I see a lot of single black solo female travelers, and I'm like, I want to do that, but I'm trying to get past that anxiety. I'm like, could I really do this on my own?
Yeah.
and have that confidence, because I feel like even though they discuss
Start small, Jillian. So go do a staycation downtown.
Sure.
And go and
And-
have dinner by yourself downtown.
And that's
Sure.
exactly what I'm thinking about doing, because I'm just like, because they said that at first they did have a lot of the anxiety, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is somebody going to look at me or this, that, and the third? And then it said, once they actually did the traveling and the more they did it, the more comfortable they felt, is just taking that first leap of faith. Because I'm like, if I'm gonna wait till somebody can do it with me, so I'm not alone, I feel like I'm afraid that I will never get to experience the things I want to experience, and
Yeah.
I don't want to have that barrier
Yeah.
in front of me. And I'm just like, and I think for me, when I'm looking for my why or my passion, I think a lot of it is, oh my gosh, I'm the biggest barrier because I feel like I can't do it on my own, which with my workout.
They have travel groups though too, where you can literally find a group and travel with them.
That's the thing. I'm still traveling with strangers.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So that's the thing, and that's the thing.
I'd rather do it completely alone than with strangers.
I'm the same way.
And so, and the funny thing is that because I've talked about my workout classes that I take now twice a week, and I think I'm going to be upping it this summer to 3 times a week.
Good for you.
Is that it was actually a friend that invited me to the class, and because I had that person with me, she was my security blanket, and sometimes like she'd be like, oh, I can't make it this week. In the beginning, I would be like, well, if you're not going, I'm not going. And luckily it was 2 friends that this friend invited myself and another friend, and so at least one of them would be there, and there were times where maybe both of them would miss, and I'd be like, well, if you guys aren't going, I'm not going.
Right
now,
you're like, well,
it's been over a year, about a year and a half since I've been doing this class now, because I've learned and gotten comfortable with a lot of repeat clients. Is that, wait a minute, I can do this on my own. In fact, I believe last week both my friends weren't there, and I'm just like, oh, well, I'm still going, so
good for you.
And it's just
that's great.
And I feel like I probably would have gotten to this place had she not invited me.
Exactly.
But it's one of those things where if I don't do it and then continue to do it, push into or embrace that, because I feel like, and that's what I've been trying to tell myself, I have to learn to be okay with being uncomfortable, because that's how I grow.
Exactly.
Once you
push yourself.
Yeah, that's how you push
true.
yourself.
That's how people grow.
It's going through the discomfort, because it's when you're repetitive, that's how you get past that discomfort.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's where my biggest.
That's crazy that you say that, because it's so true. And I've told so many people, like I live that at work, but I won't live that in life. Like I've told so many people, every single position, every promotion you get, you're going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You're going to feel like you can't do it.
Right.
It's always
Like
going to be,
a fraud,
it's always going to be
syndrome.
scary.
Yeah.
It's always going to be intimidating,
Yeah.
but you didn't get that without having earned it.
Exactly.
Right. So
exactly.
you are capable of it. Just push because I get that same feeling.
Yeah.
Every new position, every new opportunity, every new responsibility, it puts a little pressure on you.
Yeah.
But then you realize, oh shit, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got
yeah,
this in the bag.
once you start doing
It starts off that way,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it doesn't end that way.
and I think what
and
Janice's
it makes you grow.
Janice's recommendation of doing the thing I want to do, even if it means doing it by myself. So I've been wanting to go to the Dallas Museum of Art for a really long time. And I'm just like,
That's me so many times.
I'll go with you.
And it's one of those things where I'm just like, this is the first time I've told Michael, but I've like, maybe I should just take the train downtown and just go by myself.
Do it.
And I was just like, I don't want to miss stuff anymore. And
Good
I'm
for
like,
you.
I'm just waiting for the
I
right
know.
exhibit that I'm like, I want to see that exhibit.
And I'm in my high functioning depression stage, so I'm not going.
Yeah. And
Like,
so
I
I was just like, I think
love
And
the
then
Dallas Museum of Art.
a lot of the things, like some of those things, I would go because I knew Jillian wanted to go when she needs somebody to go with.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
kind of you.
yeah, she would be my little comfort, my
Yeah.
Like I
emotional
love Broadway
support.
shows. Like I love Broadway shows, but
Yes.
Jillian loves them more. Right? So there's the ones that she wants to go to. Like she's like, I want to go to this one. I'm like,
It's expensive.
but then I'm like, well, she's not gonna go if I don't go. So let me just go.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, in fact,
And I'll
some of
enjoy
those,
them.
and I do have a friend, and she's like, Jillian, if you want to go, I will go with you. She loves Broadway shows. So shout out to Wendy, because she was
Okay.
just like, I'll go with you.
Don't
Just let
replace
me know.
me.
I'm not
Then
going to
I'll
replace
get
you.
a
You're
little-
irreplaceable.
I do-
Then I'll get a little jealous.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
I want
because
to
I think one of the ones she's like, I'm not sure about this, but she went with me anyway. I really wanted to see Hamilton, and she was just like, I don't know, but I'm like, I want to see it. And she was like,
Everybody
I'll
was-
go.
Oh my god.
Somebody was
am
dressed
the-
up as
I am
Hamilton.
the unpopular opinion for sure. Like
I'm with you.
You didn't like Hamilton?
It's not that no. It's not that I don't
not
like it. I just couldn't get into it.
It's
It's
just
not that I don't
not-
like it though.
I loved it.
There you go.
I
It's
just
not
couldn't get
that I
into it.
don't like it or didn't enjoy it.
I appreciate the artistry, but it's not for me.
It's very
It's one
long.
of those.
Yeah.
You know what?
And it was a constant singing. I was like,
Yes, there is
there's not enough
dialogue.
actual dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's the thing about Hamilton that I did love when I went to see the live performance, which I saw the live performance in Dallas first, but then Disney released it
Yes.
on Disney Plus, and I actually liked it better with the original cast, and the freaking subtitles helped a whole lot.
Oh, I bet.
That's
Yes.
probably a bigger part too. Like
that's
half the
why-
time I didn't even know what they were talking
Same.
about.
Yes.
Same. I'm the same
And I
way.
had to like literally play catch up the entire time.
Yeah,
like
what's
trying
he
to
saying?
figure out Okay, well, she's okay. So I think
Yeah.
what's going on is
Yeah. And that's one thing I said. If you go back and watch it in Disney Plus with the subtitles, you will like catch things that you didn't catch
it's
in the
all
live.
singing.
Yeah,
They're, like,
it's all
talking
singing,
singing.
and
Yeah.
it's not even just singing. It's rapping, a little bit
Yes.
of rapping, a little bit of singing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, once you listen to it, I'm just like, this is actually really good. Like the Shoeless Sisters song, and even when they're in the pub and they first introduced,
like I watched the whole thing and I really couldn't give you any details about
I'm
it.
the same.
And
Janice.
that's yeah.
It's
I
like,
would say if
Like
give it
maybe one song I'd recognize.
give it a second, give it another chance, and try watching on Disney Plus with the original cast with the subtitles.
Oh, I should.
I felt more in love with it because I
Okay.
felt like I wasn't missing anything anymore.
Now
Yeah.
Wicked, I would see
that's
every
awesome.
time,
Yeah.
a million times.
So
over.
I've
Yeah.
actually never heard the music of Wicked. Oddly enough, I've
It
never seen
is
it. I never heard the music.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
It is some good music.
I'm
really
so excited about the film
movie.
with Cynthia Invo, and is that her name? Cynthia, yeah, playing
Evo or I can't remember.
yeah, and then of course my girl Ariana.
I'm excited for
It's gonna be
it.
good.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. Okay, so the funny thing that we're talking about Broadway, and I think this also contributes to my anxiety, which I think, again, Julian's one of the only people that will probably get it.
Mm-hmm.
And Stacey and Craig and probably. But I'm so diverse
Yeah,
with my like things I like. And I'm very much like, you can put me in Oak Cliff one day listening to rap.
Right.
And you can put me down here in Salina at a rodeo.
Yeah.
Like, or you can put me in a Broadway musical. Like, I like so many different things. And I think a part of me is always trying to like give whoever I'm with the part of me that
interesting.
kind of matches them.
I see.
Oh, okay.
I get that.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a
Too
pressure.
much.
Yeah.
Like having to like filter parts of my personality.
Wow. Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's taxing.
so. It's almost like you're feeling out the person and like giving them that part of you.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's not a good thing when it comes to like me just living my authentic life.
That's true. It means you're highly adaptable.
I am very adaptable. Like
Yeah.
whatever situation you put me in,
You'll
I
figure
can,
it out.
I can
Yeah.
definitely fit.
Yeah.
We've
And I think that just causes more anxiety of
Yes.
do I have the capacity to even filter myself right
100%. Yeah. I totally
Yeah.
know.
now? It's crazy just talking about it with you guys. I'm like, maybe that's what it is.
yeah.
I think you're onto something.
100%.
Yeah, you're self-aware, so
Yeah.
it's not surprising.
Yeah. But for a lot of it is when it comes to, and then I even got into a time where I was doing like chakra clearing and,
Okay.
and thinking about that. I'm like, maybe that will help. Like,
Yeah.
because it's something you can pinpoint anxiety.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing with me. Like, I'm usually like a solution person. Like,
Right.
this is the problem. I gotta do this, and
That
I'll
is
fix
you.
it.
Yeah.
But anxiety is like you cannot pinpoint what's going on.
Same with depression.
So this is why I tried different things.
Right.
Like, let me declutter.
yeah.
Well, let me go to a movie by myself.
Let me work out.
Let me go work. Let me
Yeah.
go work out. Let me get my hair done.
Exactly. Go buy something for yourself. Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
Retail
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah.
That's my favorite form of medication.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
Shopping.
for me. This is why I want to pursue a career as a therapist. That's why I'm, the ladies know the ladies. What am I? You're not 50.
I am a lady
I
though,
do
boo.
in text. I do refer to them as ladies. I don't know why. Anyway,
I'm a
so
lady, honey.
because so I'm pursuing a career as a therapist. I will be pursuing graduate school for that. I was supposed to do it in the fall, didn't work out. The girls know that. So my goal is next semester, rather in spring semester in January, I'll be going to school to become a therapist. So this is all very passionate. I'm very passionate about this topic. So I'm glad we're talking about it
Oh,
today.
good. Okay, so
Yeah.
then once you, I'm probably gonna have to start doing some couch therapy sessions. with
Yeah,
Michael,
shoot.
for real.
I'm telling you, I know some stuff. I mean,
a couple
I
things.
figure too.
And I think when we talk about things like this as a group too, and that's why I was like very like, let's talk about it on the podcast. Let's definitely like put it out there because we've talked about mental health in the past. I don't know how deep we've gotten into it. I remember ever being about anxiety.
yeah.
And I think coming from someone who people would normally think never has anxiety,
Yep.
and I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not, and it gets bad. So just knowing that there are people that you can relate to that maybe on the surface don't look the same way
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
think it looks.
Yeah, I think it's having that, knowing that you're not alone. I think that's something that's very human. Nobody wants to be alone in experiencing whatever they're experiencing. Like, okay, I'm not the offshoot. I'm not
Exactly.
I'm just like, because when you're alone, you feel like you have to figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
You have to, get out of the situation on your own. But when you know that, hey, people have been in this situation before me, I can use them as a blueprint to be able to hopefully get myself on the other side of this as well.
Yeah.
And that's for me. I think right now that's even why like dating's on hold for me. Like,
me too.
It's the filter because I filter my personality dating too.
Me
so
too. Yeah.
I can be a lot. So I can be a lot in a lot of different angles, and I think how independent I am, how opinionated I am. I filter that in the beginning a lot.
And those are attributes. Those are good things to have.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, but you want to be loved as a whole person.
of course.
Right, and I
of
think
course.
that's why I've had a problem in the past is because I'm never really giving you all of me all at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm giving you what I feel like you want.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of being able to feel like this is who I am wholly, you're
Yeah.
going to take the bad parts of me with the good. Because there are, everybody has bad parts.
Of course.
Or
Absolutely.
parts that could be developed
Yeah,
and grown.
worked on.
And yeah, I think I know those parts, which is the parts I try to hide.
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't.
No,
Yeah.
you shouldn't.
They should come to light.
Yeah. No, I shouldn't.
Yeah. It's like you gotta love me, all of me, 100%, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to have that experience of being with somebody or having a romantic part where I don't feel like I have to hide anything. Like I can be that vulnerable with someone.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, vulnerability and me are just not
Yeah,
a thing.
me too.
Are you both criers?
No.
No.
I am.
I've cried more as an adult.
Yeah.
But like I remember, my best friend. We've been best friends for 13 years now. I think she's only seen me cry a handful of times, and she's probably one of the only people I would let me see cry.
Have you seen her cry?
All the time, constantly.
Yeah.
When is she not?
We'll be having a conversation. It could be happy,
Yeah.
sad,
Yeah.
mad. Tears could come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's healthy, honestly. I've had many therapists, and each one of them really
I
endorse the
know.
idea of releasing, because all it is a release ultimately, and sometimes it hurts. Like I recently was sobbing uncontrollably, and I mean sobbing, and in the moment it was not fun, but afterwards I was like, that felt good. Okay, I needed to get that out. But it was a hardcore for probably 28 minutes of just nonstop crying to
Yeah.
the point of like, is this gonna stop? Like, when does this end?
Yeah, because the crazy part is that I cried at work like a year and a half. Like it was over a year ago. But that's probably the last time I remember myself crying.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
One of my
Like crying like
Hardcore.
uncontrollable. Like I literally could not stop it.
Yeah.
It was just like I couldn't even speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hate this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
I was like, and that's why I don't like crying.
Yeah.
You get that lump in your throat.
Yes.
You can't talk.
Your heartbeat.
It's just, it feels like it will never end.
Yeah, you feel like you're
And it's
dying.
like this grief. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
like it. I don't like crying.
it's,
Yeah.
it's funny you talking about one of those like big time ugly cries. So my very first counseling session I ever had, the woman literally asked me
Jillian,
about your family. So I talked about my mom and my mom's side of my sister.
Yep,
She goes,
I've been
okay,
there.
what about your dad? Girl,
Oh.
Jillian, same.
boo
Same,
hoo,
Jill.
cry like like you can't you
Yeah.
cried so hard you can't even catch your breath.
I know it.
That's what it was. 'Cause
It's
I had to
crazy,
go
though.
into that
World, that realm.
realm as far as the very complicated
That
relationship
Relationship.
with my
That
father.
part
Right.
that you literally keep behind that closed door and
Yes.
you gotta keep it locked.
Yeah.
Yes, that one has
Tight
been
and wound.
It was
So-
I was wound like a rubber band.
Yeah.
And oh my god, I've never cried that hard. And I realized after the session I'm just like, okay, I didn't think I had any issues because I never dealt with
Addressed
that
it.
relationship and addressed that situation, never talked about it, never dealt with it, I felt like there's something wrong with me. I feel nothing. And I realized, oh no, bitch, you
feel
feel
everything.
something.
You feel
You just
everything.
kept that buried.
Yeah.
And she dug that shit up and I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, I'm telling. So, fun fact is, I had to run in with the law when I was in my 20s, and I had to go to a court ordered counseling session. Oh my god, they made me
Yeah.
cry talking about. Well, what about your dad? Like I was like, oh holy shit!
Y'all make me do
shocked.
this. Y'all make me do this.
Like this is
I pay to
It's
get
clearly
that.
an issue.
like I was made to do it, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's when I very first realized that I had a problem with my relationship with my dad.
Yeah.
Yep.
I always thought I had accepted it and was fine.
Yep.
It's so weird when you're forced to deal with something, because when I was an outpatient at a psychiatric hospital last summer, and I admitted myself I wasn't forced to go, and so of course they know this. I'm just sharing for the podcast.
Yeah.
That experience, you're forced every single day to deal with the things you don't want to deal with. And I did this willingly. I was forcing myself to go deal.
Good, though.
Yeah, it's healthy.
That's good.
My therapist was like, I think this is great for you. I think you should do this. But I did it on my own. I had the idea and I paid a lot of money for it. But you're in a room with all these people, total strangers, and they are sobbing, uncontrollably sobbing about every issue they have. And that's your everyday. That's your everyday experience for the entirety of your time there.
And I'm not good with other people's emotions.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I'm not.
I saw some stuff, and it really just puts in perspective. Like, wow, I'm not that.
Is that part of you that made you wanting to go into?
Yes, that has. I wanted to before, but that really was like a huge source of I want to be this person for other people. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Huge source of relief.
I love that.
And so it was really eye opening for me. And I did Tony Robbins, his self-help retreats, which is a total sham. It's a cult.
Yes.
It's absolutely a cult.
Thank you. Because I don't like his style.
No, his style is pay me a lot of money, and then I'll tell you, his whole source to depression, his cure, quote unquote, for depression is to just get up and do it. And it's like, right, so you don't understand depression is a debilitating, paralyzing disorder where you cannot do that thing. Oh, just get up and go work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't. That's the whole issue.
Yeah.
You think it's just a matter of like,
but
snap your fingers and get out of it.
Tony Robbins has any educational background
No, he
in
doesn't.
psychology. So
No, he
I always
doesn't.
side eye people who are giving out advice in things they're not specialized in, have taken the time to gain the knowledge.
Yes.
And get the proper education. So there's a lot of people who do that on the finance side, people who do it when people are dealing with emotional issues.
Yeah.
No, I need to see your credentials.
100%.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people are getting in that space.
Well,
What?
I thought you said coindential.
No,
Well,
credential.
with him, I
I'm
charges
doing
people.
the kind of the gimme.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, got the coins too. So I want to, speaking on that, and then we'll wrap up. We have a lot of time. We have
time.
Okay. So that's one of the things too. When it comes to my anxiety or depression or anything like that, I need to be more empathetic with people because I deal with it, and maybe I deal with it differently or better. I'll be like, man, it's not a crutch. Like, I get it. We all have anxiety, but I need you're at work. What are you doing?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But that's the work side of me. Like, I do kind of churn it off when it's at work. Like,
Sure. That's a good thing.
Because then I can just be like, I don't have to think about my life or nothing. I can just
For
think
9
about
hours.
work.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's one of the things that it helps me being able to go to work and not think about anything else but work and
Yeah.
not think about those things that going on in my life.
You have structure. You're a structured
Some
person.
people like can't leave it at
Yeah.
home or
Yeah.
leave it at the door.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, for me, I found, especially as like in a leadership role, I'm like, you have to teach people to do that because it's not going to help you, and it's just like either you can come to work,
Yeah.
or call out. I get
Exactly.
it, but maybe don't be here.
Yeah, your
because
energy is off.
We can't
be productive.
accommodate that.
Yeah.
So
You're
like,
not here for that.
But right, because I'm more high functioning.
Yes.
I'm not as empathetic about it, but that's just.
So that's a good thing.
a
You should
nugget.
you should be able to push forward. Because if we at the end of the day, if we're all just
I know you can't, right? But take
Try your
PTO,
hard- right.
if that's what you need to do. If you really cannot come here and be functional, because at the end of the day,
we have to.
we got to do it. So
Yeah.
anyway, so
Yeah. So
I hate to cut it off.
Yeah.
This is something, like I said, we've had this discussion off the podcast and wanted to and this is something that I for sure feel like we should revisit, because like I said, we've had listeners come in and be like, hey, I 100%, the few times we've mentioned it, they're like, yeah, I 100% feel the same way that you do. And they pick up on that one sentence or two that we talk about.
And they come back and say something. So
Yeah. That's great.
So we definitely, this is something this is an open-ended conversation that we will,
Part 2 will come.
we'll definitely
especially
revisit
now that
again.
we kind of talked about our struggles,
Yes.
and now we can kind of give updates on those. And
Yeah.
I actually had
Janice, you wanted to shout out a friend who,
I had a friend that listened to the podcast pretty religiously, and really sweet lady. And she actually, we were talking about lymphedema with Wendy Williams, and it's so crazy because she was talking to her the other day. She's like, I just want you to know, like, listening to your podcast, and like I had symptoms with the, water, not being able to release the water or something. She's just like, and I have been going to my doctor. They couldn't diagnose me. Turns out she does have lymphedema, and they were able to finally diagnose her.
Wow.
Awesome.
So I'm
That's
just
amazing.
I'm like, even conversations like this, I think it's important, and I think we're going to continue to discuss different things like that. And mental health is a big thing with our generation. So, or in this time.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely something we want to focus on the podcast.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
Absolutely. All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and enjoy the rest of our Sunday. We hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. And that's a wrap on the latest episode of Let Me Finish. Thank you guys for joining us for another week and listening to the latest episode. Don't forget, go like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platforms. And you guys can also follow us and see us on different platforms. I am on Instagram, and that's going to be Uniquely Janice. And then I'll also be on TikTok, Janice H, GENICEH. Michael, where can they find you?
I'm only on Instagram, and it's Kasra Salimi. And by Kasra Salimi, I mean Kasra Writes, because I changed it and I just forgot. So it's KASRA Writes, WRITES.
Yes. Jillian, where can we find you?
Instagram as well, and it's New Jillian Who Dis.
New Jillian Who Dis. All right. Well, we will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.